there, thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Ahwassas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the southwest section of the map, ending with Team 2 in the northeast. Starting off with the southeasternmost player here for Team 1, it is the Rust player of Eyes No Good, or kind of looks like Eins Un Gold. Eins Un Gold. Can never pronounce his name right from the show, the anime Overlord. If you've ever seen it, very good anime. Anyway, he is going first land as a UEF. He is a 1500. And I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so we don't miss any of that early action. Traveling northward, we have the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall at Skibidi. Cannot pronounce the rest of that name, going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 2200. The lowest ranked player on Team 1 and in the game overall is Aliens Are Real, going first land in Snow White as a UEF. Again, he is in Snow White. And in the northwest section of Team 1's front line, it is MFO1 going first land as an Aeon. He is a 1600. And last but not least, in the rearguard eyeshot player here for Team 1, it is Vangerful going first land as a Cybern in Regal Purple. He is a 1300. So for Team 1 side of things, they have every single faction represented here. There are 2 UEF, however, so they have dual majored in that. 1 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, and 1 Cybern. We'll start here in the northwest section of Team 2's front line. It is the 1600 Cybern player of Literal going first land. He is in Batman Gray. And to his east, a Seraphim player of Grumpy going first land, second to air. He is in Forest Green, and he is 1000 rated. To his south, in Pac-Man Yellow, we have Godzilla Potato, the Godzilla the size of a potato, going first land as a Cybern. He is in Pac-Man Yellow, and he is the highest rated player on Team 2. Grumpy is the lowest rated player on Team 2. For reference, in the east, we have the Tropical Ocean Blue player of Jolinar, I think it's Jolinar, going first land as a UEF. He is a 1700 rated. And last but not least, in the rearguard air slot here for his team, it is Korn going first land as a Seraphim in Ruby Red. He is a 1400 going second air as well. So for Team 2 side of things, they have every faction except for the Aeon faction. They have a dual majored in Seraphim and Cybern Tech and 1 UEF, which means, again, 2 Seraphim, 2 Cybern, 1 UEF, and no Aeon. Team 1 has access to every kind of tech with a dual major and UEF. Team 2 has no Aeon technology, but has a dual major in Cybern and Seraphim. Let's go ahead and take a look at that reclaim before our players scoop it all up. And for 10 players with all of that numbers on the map, you would think it'd be high, but it's only about 24,000. So 2.4K mass per player. It's still a decent amount of reclaim here for 10 players. And it will desperately be fought over, especially in the southeast section of the map, with a large section of it being down there. There's 1,000 here in this, kind of southern eastern lane. Not really a whole lot on this upper plateau, and a couple thousands up here in the northwest, with a lot, of course, dotted all around. Let's take a look at the match point layouts here for this game. And let's just cut this map down the middle so we can talk about one side, and then obviously it's going to be mirrored on the other. I don't know if I call this a quad mix position, but these mixes are pretty close together. Maybe we can even loop in that one. So it's 6 mixes here on this side of the map. Another section of mixes that will firmly be in the hands of Team 2. 1 tri-mix position here on this upper plateau, with a quad mix position here in the northwest. Another quad mix position up here, and then a couple of one-offs here in the northwest. So a lot of focus will most likely be here in the northwest section of the map. Looks like it's going to be geared up between Literal and MFO. In the middle of the map, it looks like it might be a 2v2 scenario between Skibidi and Aliens Are Real. Looks like he's going to be a little bit more on that western side, and Skibidi more on that eastern side of the middle. And then we have eyes no good on this southeastern side. Maybe we'll even see Skibidi rotate. Yeah, it looks like he is rotating more in that eastward direction versus on this upper plateau. And it is pretty much very similar here between players on Team 2. Of course, we have Literal focusing a little bit more on that upper plateau. And kind of maybe we'll see him shift going this way versus going straight, around. We do see Godzilla in the upper plateau section actually pushing forward with his commander, the only commander really in the middle of that plateau, and it does look like Team 2's Jolinar is just focused on this eastern edge. So it looks like there could be a gap opening here for Team 1 to exploit, but it does look like Team 2 does have the advantage of just sending 2 comms down the middle with forces in that regard. So let's go ahead and turn this game back up 2-0 and see how our players get this game going. You can see lots of comms have left their main bases, all except for the rearguard airstrike players for both teams. And that is pretty typical just due to the fact that they are focused more on their ecos and getting up to T3 tech as fast as possible. These players are decently high rated. We have everyone from a 900 to a 2200, so we expect to see a lot of interesting plays, not necessarily those that conform to normal strategies, because of course every map is different. At least that's why I love the map generator. We already see T2 on the way here for Vangerful in the southwest. Wants to again eco up with his comm and use it for more of an engineering versus a offensive capable commander. Comms on Team 2 and 1 are about to meet here pretty soon in the middle. In the northwest here, it does look like Mofo's kind of just on his own. Looks like Literal is kind of focused more again on this upper plateau, wanting to go after Aliens Are Real. And it does look like Aliens Are Real is putting himself between Team 1's Mofo's main base and Literal's forces. We do see a drop inbound here from Team 2's Corn. Looks like he may be going after some mass extractors here in the corner of the map. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go actually for this upper plateau for a couple of mass to scoop up. I mean, that is about 1,000. It does look like he'll try to deny the other 1,000 here against his teammate. Or not his teammate, his opponent here in the northwest section. It does look like it might be the first calm-on-calm action between Jolinar and Eyes No Good here in the southeast corner of the map. Units moving in, trying to get a nice little readout here for Team 1 Skibidi. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce the rest of that name, so for those that may know how to pronounce it, I'm proud of you, but I can't. my brain hurts. The only reason I know how to pronounce Skibidi is because I've heard it enough to be able to pronounce it just based on how it looks. We do see 3 comms here for Team 2. The player of Grumpy making his way onto this upper plateau. And again, having 2 comms is very interesting. Having 3 comms is a lot of firepower on this upper plateau. Literal, it does look like he is going to rotate a little bit more northward and actually go around to prevent any sort of incursions by the comm of MFO, because MFO is just pushing by himself. There's really not a lot of defenses. A couple of Team 1 artillery will take out that PD very, very quickly. And then it'll just be MFO's comm, and that's really about it. There's, again, both players not really having a lot. A lot of Literal's focus, again, is this upper plateau section. And we can see the progress that's being made by Team 2. They're pushing onto Team 1's side of the map. It does look like Skibidi's actually going to rotate around and go for that upper plateau. Looks like he's made a decent amount of gains and progress here to be able to just say, nah, I think I'm good. I'm going to focus more on that plateau that's looking kind of dangerous. We do see Team 1's orange player of Eyes No Good is pushing a decent amount of units forward. Jolinar is just focused on some reclaim, kind of just hanging out down here. He should be, I mean, going after reclaim is very important, but also losing a lot of mexes on that front line that he could easily have access to and be scooping up. Definitely a missed opportunity there, especially with some hooking and pincering maneuver forces outbound from Skibidi to assist in this push from Team 1. Gun, speed and range going down here for Skibidi, and we have gun, speed and range also going down here for Grumpy. So 2 players in the game going for that same upgrade. It does look like Team 1's will finish first. It's actually going up pretty quickly, considering, oh, there are a couple of engineers assisting him, but it is Seraphim versus Seraphim in that regard. But look at the amount of momentum here for Team 2, almost going into this little edge of the map owned by Skibidi. He's going to be very annoyed at that. Did build a T1 PD for some defensive measures, but that's only going to stop some units. It's not going to stop all of them. And with that gun upgrade, he's going to push forward. Units inbound from Team 2's Grumpy are pushing in to try to, again, go around the forces and comm of Aliens Are Real and maybe go into the west side against Mofo, or just go straight south for that Team 1's main base of Aliens Are Real. Forces engaging here between Aliens and Literal. Literal, I think, getting the better end of the deal, but Aliens is coming in with his own commander as well. He'll get some nice veterancy from that. Actually is pretty close to being halfway done with his first veterancy on board that commander. And with the rotation here for Literal in the north, not a lot of firepower is lost, but the amount of versatility is lost, because in order for him to get up there, he either has to be transported up there, teleport up there, or just go around, and he'll probably go around. He doesn't want to be caught unawares from a transport. Another gun speed and range upgrade here going down for Team 2, this time from Godzilla Potato. Again, trying to secure this upper plateau. There aren't a whole lot of mexes. I mean, there's a decent amount, but it's not enough to be like, I have to go for this, I have to push for it. I feel like the mixes down here definitely warranted that kind of response outbound from Jolinar. Jolinar is severely wounded, dropping below 2,000 hit points, and Eyes No Good actually going to build a T1 torpedo launcher just to force him to stay there, and his forces are being depleted very, very quickly. The assistance of Skibidi did allow for a decent amount of pushing outbound from Team 1. And those PD trying to stay online. A couple of mexes are taken out. Bombers are inbound to try to deal with those. The comm as well has now sandwiched those units. Don't know what that overcharge was doing, but it was doing something interesting though. There are some T1 Medusa in the mix, but they do get close in range for one of them to take that unit out. And it does look like it's going to be a lot of contention going on here between both teams on the upper plateau. And essentially, both teams really just ignoring this avenue of attack down here. And there's one lonely unit, one Mantis left standing from that old attack group. Skibidi almost up to his first rank in veterancy. Again, Team 2 has to be very careful, because the more powerful he gets, and especially as a Seraphim, the more harder it is to kill him off. They really want to kill him off, especially because he is the highest rated player in the game overall. That would be a huge target for them to take out. And it does look like Jolinar is losing some outlying T1 mixes due to just a couple of units just kind of running around. Jolinar has to focus now, not just only on this orange player outbound from Eyes No Good. I wish it was I Am No Good, but he has to write it like that. And, of course, some just kind of pod shot units from Skibidi. We're approaching 12 minutes in this game so far. Team 1 and Team 2 relatively staying about the same amount of mass per second. Team 1 has access to T3 tech as well as Team 2 does. I don't see any of them going for Bomber. Those look like it's just Scouts and ASF. Same scenario. Yep, same scenario here. Engineers and whatnot. So no really early Bombers outbound from either team. Don't really see those plays anymore. I'm kind of sad to see that. There are some, not this one isn't a good example, but there are examples of where one team has a severe air advantage and they just don't use it, and it's a little disappointing. But a wing of bombers, T2 Torp bombers, are en route to take out Jolinar's commander, and those torpedoes will drop, take out those AA PD or turrets, and then they'll go after the commander. There he goes. Very smart move, going after the AA first. But nano repair going on board. The comm is dropping very, very quickly. Sub 200 hit points. And unfortunately here for Jolinar, he is dead, literally in the water. There he goes. And it is the first kill here for Team 1. And in the game over, Jolinar actually control Ks, but that is definitely a kill I will award to Vangerful. It is now a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. In Team 1. Team 2, let's see, Godzilla Potato will inherit everything that Jolinar did own. So again, now 2 bases here for Godzilla, getting his eco up to 140 versus, let's say, his contemporary of Skibidi at 60. Skibidi has suffered a decent amount of losses. There's T2 units now on the cards here for both of those players. Ilshis versus Rhinos, definitely will side with Ilshis every step of the way. Skibidi now building some defensive measures. And MFO is defeated by Literal. Literal severely wounded as well. Looks like he will make it out of dodge, but push ACU, says Mofo. Units transferred over to Skibidi now have to be given have to be given orders once again to move, and then everything transferred over to Aliens are reeled so that he can micro those a lot better than Skibidi. Does look like Aliens are real is pushing forward with a couple of squads of units, some T2 tanks, some T1 tanks, a couple of AA, some missile launchers as well. Do like the mixture of units here for him. There are a couple of THAMs moving in, trying to target, of course, those T2 units first, take out the DPS, and then go from there. Blaze is trying to just rush in there to kill off the comm of Literal. Again, now it's a 4v4 just after the death of Team 2's teammate. Team 1 loses one. And now at least both teams will have a man in the sky or man in the chair to be able to assist with tactical measures. Team 1's eyes no good is actually being just swarmed here by T1 units. He has a couple of PD he's trying to build to defend himself with. Definitely the best move in that regard, because those T1 PD fire very, very quickly. He has another force of units inbound from the north, so he's going to be pincered here pretty shortly. But he does have some T2 tanks coming in to relieve some of that pressure. Team 2 doing a decent job of constantly pressuring Team 1 on this upper plateau, but they're not making as much progress as they used to be. And it does look like Team 2's Little is able to hold off that incoming force outbound from Team 1. And he did suffer a decent amount of hit point loss, but he's getting nano right now. He's at 36. He'll jump to probably, I think it's 86 or even 96, so he'll be perfectly fine for the time being. It does look like a couple of comms here on Team 2 are retreating. I thought I heard a strap bomber earlier on. I don't know if it was one. Let's see if there's any sort of wreckage I can see. They're about 1,000 mass. Don't see much of anything, so maybe not. Maybe it was either scooped up or I just don't see it on the map. It does look like Team 1's eyes no good is able to deal with that spam and is now going to start PD creeping unintentionally into Team 2's front line in that eastern side. And this is very dangerous. If this position falls, you can obviously come and swing in for Team 2's, sideline bases. And that's not going to feel good, especially when you're being attacked from the south and the east. You have to cover two different fronts and stretch into your defenses. That then does not bode well here for survival in this game. Now we can see the counter pushing going on for Team 1 Skibidi, as those Ilshis, again, very deadly units here. You can see how fast they just rip through Rhinos. They don't care how much HP those Rhinos have. They are dead. And even the Ilshis have 2,500 hit points. The Rhinos only have 1,900. The maxing of HPs, of course, that also could be, how much DPS do the Rhinos do versus the Ilshis, that sort of thing. But Grumpy charging forward with a non-veteran seat commander probably will get it with a kill on a Ilshi or two. He does have gun, does give him a slight range advantage in that regard. But Skibidi is just kind of PD creeping a little bit, allowing himself to get a nice layered defensive going on. A couple of Ilshis get into the rear and start going after resourcing options here for Godzilla. And it does look like Team 1's Rust player of Eyes No Good is pushing forward from this southern section. And he's more focused on this eastern base. That way he doesn't have to worry about being attacked from behind if he does push that southern way like his units just did. ASF's huddling around Team 2's front line just to ensure there's no sort of gunships or any sort of harassment that goes on against their commanders. Hide comms, please, says Vangerful. Doesn't want them to be sniped or be spotted very easily here. And I don't blame him in that regard. I would probably want to hide too. Just to not be spotted in general. It does look like he's pumping out ASFs as well. As a line of engineers going down here, just probably scooping up reclaim most likely, but we'll see if that is actually the case. I do like him using these upper plateaus. There's one mix, but putting something up there, again putting something up here, just to have something up here. There's one mix. Having an area of the map where ground units can't easily just come in and rush over you definitely assists with more sensitive targets, just like a T2 radar system. That's, you know, definitely something you just don't want to have just be ran over by some tanks. Does look like things have kind of subsided in the middle of the map. It looks like it's a little back and forth there, but it's kind of just more talk, more than bark, more than bites, more bark than bite. But there is a counterattack mounting here for Team 2's Literal, going after those frontline facilities and mexes. But there is a Harbinger in the mix, and more of them being built all the time. He's going to be facing off against T3 units. He's still using T2 units, which means that mismatched tech is going to start favoring Team 1 as time goes on. I would love to see Aliens Are Real go for T3 UEF and go for those Perseus. He has gone for land. He does have that under his control. He's going for a Quantum Gateway for some RAS comms or even some Rambo comms. Who knows? But at least has the ability to gate them in if he so chooses to. A couple of T1 pigeons were control Kate, it looks like. Just because they're not really needed anymore here. I don't really like doing that. It depends. It's nice to have the extra mass that you just spent on those pigeons, but I mean that's 20 energy a second. You have 10 of those, that's 200. You have 100 of those, that's 2,000. Wait. No, that's right. Yeah, I was like, wait, my math. But it's just nice to have those, especially if maybe going to go for artillery or whatever, and they're already in place ready to go. But usually in the main base they're not, so it's not a huge issue. But sometimes if you build enough T1 power, you can actually skip T2 and go straight for T3. But most players just go for T2 and then T3 anyways. The Titans starting to appear here for Team 1 in the south. And again, Team 2 doesn't have T3 tech. They do have, again, a lot of pillars, some shields. Of course, we have Godzilla Potato has access to Cybran technology as well as UEF tech. He has T3 is going for Perseus right now. That will definitely turn the tide in that regard if those numbers are built fast enough. Tactical missile going on the way here for Grumpy. He's not UEF, so he won't get Billy Nuke, but he will get regular TML, which is, again, still very useful for taking out T2 mexes and just kind of just annoying your opponent. Looks like that's a missile outbound here. It does look like it does get shot down by some zappers. But again, Skibbidy's just constantly annoying, constantly forcing Team 2 to build this and build that, and not kind of just be calm with, oh, my base is fine, I don't have to worry about it kind of thing. Team 2 has to constantly worry about their bases. Constant raiding here down the south forces Godzilla, again, I say constantly a lot, apparently, to send units regularly over here versus down the middle. It does build up a nice amount of forces to be able to push, but it does divert a lot of resources to this eastern side that could be going to the middle. We have 3 players units here in the middle versus 2, and one of those players is actually focused more again on the northwest and the middle, so he's just dividing his attention up. So realistically, it's 1.5 versus 3. That is the trade I will take any day of the week of comms or tying up other comms here in the south. How's the air grid going? It's not. There's 2 air facilities online. One of them is the air at T3 Air headquarters, but there is more than double the amount of Air Force's facilities here for Korn. He's going for shield. He is going for T2 shield just to, defend against any sort of E3 bomber nastiness that may happen. But as of right now, I don't see anything like that. Some artillery does get in and take out a shield generator, but it's only really a delaying tactic at this point. There's, missiles constantly launching here against his eastern side. There's really nothing left. A couple of clean cameras are built. Line of units is moving in here. A lot of pillars actually escorting one Percy. He is the HVT bracing off against another Percy, but that Percy has no protection, not anything, so he has to, just essentially take care of himself. And it does look like the comm for Eyes No Good has retreated, so he won't be caught unawares in that regard, but it's mainly, again, this was more of a diversionary tactic. Maybe it would have worked out, but it was more of those maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'm not betting on it kind of things. At least that's how I took that attack in the southeast. Looks like all quiet on the western front here in the northwest section of the map. Both comms and both armies just kind of hanging out. T2 defenses are being built. We have some Oblivions, some Volcanoes. I'm kind of surprised not even seeing Miasma in there just to, again, poke at that front line. Missile is launching, going for T2 mexes, I would assume. There's only one of them over here. A lot of them actually are still T1. But I don't even know where the missile went, to be fair. It kind of disappeared. You hear some fighting still. It's in the southeast, and actually those units are being driven back, and Titans are being moved in to the east to deal with those incoming T1 units. There is a Percy in the mix, but 6 Titans, or actually 5 Titans and a Mech Marine will be enough. Actually, I guess there were 6, but I don't know what. A Titan? It kind of looks like a Titan. Those Titans deal with that little firebase there. In the west, it's just a couple of Percys versus a couple of Percys. Bombers overhead. Actually, there is a strap bomber over here for Team 2's Air Player of Corn. There is a couple of T1AA turrets, but not enough to really deal lasting damage against that bomber. It's only tickling. It's like tickling cannons here from the Cyberns, except for T1AA. Still no break in the lines here between both teams here in the upper plateau. Kind of a little, not boring, but for lack of a better word, boring. No one's really going for it. The issue is, of course, if you charge the front line and you fail to take it, you drop all that mass on that front doorstep. So you got to be very careful with when you attack and how much. I do like there's a tiny little way to move here. Not a giant hole. It's a little bit of almost like a golf course where this is the green and there's the hole. There's the hole. Just needs the little. I'll draw the little flag in there. There we go. See, look, there's you can put your golf ball in. Anyway, it is 24 minutes in this game. Team 1 is at 900, almost 1,000 mass per second. Team 2 is at almost 900. Actually, yeah, 1,000 versus 900. That's what I was getting at. So Team 1 ahead in that regard. And a lot of it just is due to the fact that they've been able to take some of the mass that Team 2 should have had in the southeast corner and have been able to build up a little bit. A couple of those mass points have been taken out, but I think most of them were T1 anyway, so it's not a huge amount of mass that's lost. Team 2 is, they did catch up very, very quickly. Maybe it was upgrading, maybe it was power related, whatever the case may be. But as of right now the mass incomes are tied. And it looks like maybe it's power related for Team 1 now. In terms of map control, it's about 55, 45. I wouldn't say 60. There's not a whole lot of map control in this southeastern section. And for players left, again, both teams have one player dead, so it's a 4v4 game here at 25 minutes. Please, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you make sure that you get that notification for when my videos do go live, or at least are published. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets, and hit that subscribe button. And I, again, am grateful that you have watched to this point, because not everybody does, but for those that do, I am very grateful. Sometimes my inflection on my voice doesn't really carry that through, but I am really grateful, so thank you. We do see a nice little wing of bombers built up here. The RT3 may looking out to snipe, maybe Skibidi. He has T2 and gun and 1 veterancy, so he's at 14,000 hit, almost 15,000 underneath a 13,000 shield. It is T2. Those shields are very powerful, even at T2 stage. We have a couple of tickle cannons and a nice little wall section, and what I love about this is it's not a complete wall off where the pathing just goes, we'll just go around. There's enough of a hole to bottleneck a lot of units, and then after they bottleneck, they then have to split up, making it very easy and essentially dicing up your vegetables so you can eat them and cook them easier. And it will force these units back outbound from Team 1. Love the use of walls and then placing PD in a half circle so you can get a lot of firing arcs down. And essentially what this does is create a little kill box for those units to just go in and die. And they don't really do a lot of lasting damage. There is a T3 mobile shield generator escorting a couple of sniper bots. And there are some PD now in range of said mobile shield. And mobile shield does have 10,000, but needs to get out of range. There are some bricks trying to chase it down, but those sniper bots are going to win that fight every day of the week just due to their range. 1% says Jolineer. Yes, Team 1 is building a chicken. Jolinar, excuse me. Is there any sort of other experimentals being built here by Team 1 while we are looking for it, while it's being mentioned by Team 1? Looks like that could be an artillery emplacement here for Team 1's eyes no good. He already has a SMD online, trying to plan for the possible eventuality of a nuke. And that's really about it. I don't see anything of the sort. Literal builds an experimental. He is Cybrance, which means he has the Monkey Lord. That has been completed. There's a chicken being built here by Grumpy. That's actually pretty close to being half done. Is there any sort of other experimental building? No. Oh, no, there is a monkey here for Team 2's Godzilla. And the air player is building an Ahwassa Bomber. That is huge. That is huge for Team 2. If they're able to get that online soon and it doesn't just get blown out of the sky by AA or ASFs, that could be huge here for Team 2 in just either denying air or denying an entire section of the map. Huge. There's just more and more sniper bots being built here by Team 1. Skibidi trying to force back these units. Artillery raining in. The artillery will be able to hold them off for now, but again, constant fire definitely does not feel good against some shields. There are counter snipers being used to deal with the snipers outbound from Team 1 Skibidi, and it's just who can build more snipers. Essentially, those snipers do have to retreat as well, and a couple of Salerns are being used essentially as cannon fodder. Bomber somewhere. There they are here in the east. Actually, more of them, they're multiplying. And a group of units are inbound here from Team 1's eyes no good. Going after those Percy's first, dealing all of the damage to the damage dealers first, and then dealing with everybody else. They also have the most health, so that also makes it a little annoying. But Strap Bombers are en route. And there's not a lot of... Oh, there's like actually a decent amount of Cougars in that mix. Apologies. And those bombers definitely take a beating in that regard. They have to retreat. Takes out an ASF in... it's a path as well. A couple of lightning tanks coming to assist outbound from Skibidi, but there is a Monkey Lord now online, and it'll chew those Authams up very, very quickly. And again, still attacking in the east and from the south, from the west, I guess, from this perspective. But it's all coming out from the south from Godzilla's perspective. He has to, again, focus more and more. He would have probably loved to send that Monkey Lord to the front line in the middle of the map, but cannot do that because he has to deal with this thing over here to the south. Another, just a good example of just annoy until your opponent collapses. Essentially is the idea. Missile launchers launching some, missiles. Going after some resourcing options. There's a T2 Max. That is dead. And it looks like the T3 one is up next. More bombers are inbound. Another wing of them going after those Percys. Percys can't really dodge bombers as well as Titans can. And there they go, and without any AA, that's going to hurt. All of them are taken out. Missile is inbound. And there it goes. Will not kill off the T3 Max, but one more missile will do it. It does look like that Monkey Lord's still dealing with any sort of annoyingness. Couple of bricks actually being carried over from that western front over here to the eastern one to be able to hold off that attack outbound from Team 1's eyes no good. And honestly, definitely not the correct name for him because he's doing really well. He got kind of lucky with Jolinar just kind of not really doing a whole lot, but he's doing very well in occupying Godzilla Potatoes a lot of his APM and a lot of his attention because, again, he diverted units from the front over here where they were most likely built over here. So it just shows that this line of attack is getting more and more profitable as time gets on for Team 1. There is an attack outbound here from Literal for this northwestern front against Aliens Are Real. Nice squad of bricks escorting that Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord actually had 2 veterancy in this production facility. Is not long for this world. Vagonful says, probably pinging the Ahwassa Bomber. Looks very good in Ruby Red. I don't know what it is, but for some reason it just makes the, it's like almost like it's infected with like some computer virus is kind of what it looks like. But all those units are forced to retreat. Does do a decent amount of damage to them, but the Cougars, it's right in the middle of them. Oh, that's gotta hurt. A lot of those units are taken out. That's going to hurt that front line, force Team 1 to rebuild once again. Probably would go for a FAF warrior would be my guess. And he's going for satellite. Not what I thought he was going to do, but he is going to go for a quantum gateway after that. Team 1, have you done... Oh, they build a nuke and it's loaded. Does Team 2 know about it? Never mind, it's already been launched. And no, they don't know about it. So Team 2, do you have adequate defenses online? We have Potato is kind of empty in terms of SMD. Actually has nothing built. There is an attack pushing forward here by Team 2. Grumpy, and there goes that Ahwassa Bomber. It is inbound. T3AA just ramming all those missiles into the side of that bomber. The shields are down. The defenses are still online, but at least the shields are down. And those units have opened up a little bit more of a walkway so they can easily just glide on through. Chicken coming in to be escorted by them as well. Where is that nuke going? And then it lands on top of Godzilla Potato's base where he was. And kaboom! Takes out a lot of mass here for him. Even EMP'd him a little bit, or EMP'd him, depending on how you pronounce EMP. Monkey Lord in the main base here that once belonged to... I think that was Mofo. Yep, that was Mofo. The Monkey Lord is being dealt with a chicken, but a lot of infrastructure is down. So while Team 1 loses a base in the west, Team 2 loses a base in the middle. Ahwassa coming in once again has killed off 44,000 mass. It's going to take out a couple of those T3 artillery. It isn't going to take out much after that. The chicken just running rampant here on this western side. Team 2 focusing heavily on this western side, kind of mimicking what Team 1 is doing just on this southeastern side. But now with 2 monkeys online, it's going to be kind of hard pressed for Team 1 to break through that. They need a Colossus or maybe a really lucky chicken or something, but of course they do have a satellite online that's going to start going after some resourcing options, I would assume, for Team 1. Satellite online going to build 2 more. Shield online going to build 2 more satellites as we speak. Nuke is... okay, this is getting... Stop it. Talking about that little glitch that happens once in a while. But Team 2 making a huge amount of progress and just drawing a line across the map, being like everything north of that is ours. And it does look like that attack is emerging here for Godzilla Potato. The Hornet's Nest has been kicked. He's just had enough of Team 1 on the southeastern side. And now this little fire base that is online, that's going to go up in smoke. Definitely not something that Eyes No Good wants to deal with. And how's that satellite doing? Oh, it's almost close to halfway done. Shields on chicken, says Jolinar. I'll be talking about this chicken. There are a couple of units nearby. I don't know if it'd be enough to kill off the chicken. There is a chicken here for Team 1 as well. So that will force the chicken back. Artillery raining in. Oh, actually, those are missiles, not artillery. But they look like artillery. Bunch of PD are built and just ravage that... those bricks, especially considering there is a Ravager nearby. So that's a lot of PD being built on that western side. A lot more investment is going to have to be made to crack this western side, and there are more and more units being built up. Those Rascoms being gated in, going after more lines of defenses. I do like this. It should be a little bit far forward for these Team 2 mexes, but I do like the layered defenses approach. Makes it, it's like an onion. It takes a lot of effort to cut through onions versus a tomato you just slice and then it's done. But that attack outbound from Godzilla Potato doing work down here, assisted of course by the Ahwassa Bomber, still online, still being a menace here for Team 1, and those ASFs do not have the numbers to take out that Ahwassa Bomber, and even if they did, they'd give air dominance to Team 2. Team 2 has air control, they just don't want to give him air dominance. Definitely would be deadly here at 35 minutes in this game. Team 2 is being shot at by, of course, that laser from the sky. 1 P-Gen is down. 2 P-Gens are down. 3 P-Gens are down, but it looks like he got the reclaim off at the last second, so the volatile explosion does not occur. Mass FAF farm being built in the north. Another combo looks like here for Team 2 going to hide in the same water. Would not recommend it, just due to the fact that putting a couple of eggs in one basket means if that basket is nuked, all those eggs are dead. Oh, looks like the Ahwassa Bomber is getting pretty close. Do the ASFs engage? No, they do not. It does look like more and more AA defenses are being built all the time to, again, deal with that bomber. Look at this. Team 2 has severely pushed Team 1 back all the way, essentially to the midpoint here vertically. And have pushed them back, of course, in the northwest as well. So they are being hemmed in very quickly and very coordinatedly by Team 2. Essentially, it's Godzilla and Korn on this eastern side, and Grumpy, I almost said Gumpy, but Grumpy and Literal on this western side. Team 1 needs to get their act together, or it's going to be just the slow encroachment of death. Ahwassa Bomber still being annoyed, just going after anything and everything at this point. And these two Monkeloids, almost perfectly fine. One of them wounded, but one of them came off the presses, even has 2 ranks of veterancy. Defenses are being built to dissuade them, but still, that's going to take a minute to build those defenses up. Team 1 is just suffering right now. Team 2 has 1.6k mass income versus the 1.3 for Team 1. Ahwassa Bomber is inbound once again, going to try to hover bomb or whatever the heck it's going to do. And it's going to maybe go, nope, it's going to just kind of hang out. And all those Percies, it's going to hurt. Ooh, takes out a ton of them. And all the engineers building those Ravagers as well. Nuke launching once again. The outbound here from Team 1's rearguard airship player of Vangerful. Once again, it's going for this position. SMD is not loaded. And the comm of Godzilla Potato is actually hanging out over here. This could be crucial here for Team 1. And they were building a strategic missile launcher. That is definitely not going to load. Assistance onto that SMD is vital here. But unfortunately, yeah, that's not that's not going to work there. It's not going to load. We even see the comm of Grumpy being like, hey, I'm going to get out of the water now. And Godzilla actually being pinged. But at this point, I don't think he'll make it out of dodge. Nuking the nuke launcher, and there he goes. A kill on Team 2. It's Godzilla Potato, and that is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. Team 2's, let's see, Literal will gain control of everything that he had. He'll be the main, actually he will be the front line here for Team 2 with some assistance from Grumpy. But that was huge for Team 1. They denied a nuke launcher. Laggy game, 80% of all my orders didn't work. That sucks. Why no SMD there? Well, there was an SMD, it just wasn't loaded. Anyway, that will definitely give a nice amount of breathing room here for Team 1. Those monkeys, they made it all the way down here, came all the way through here, and then went back up and around. They did an entire 360, entire circle, and they're still perfectly fine. Huge, huge here for Team 2. Look at this. Look at just the amount of just nastiness that Team 1 has to contend with. Just all these engineers scooping up all that reclaim. It does look like the Ahwassa was killed off, but it does look like they didn't send all their ASFs in. There's actually a couple of squadrons down here. Probably should link those up with the main group. ARAS being built on that Skibidi Commander. Going to go for that mass resourcing options, going for T3 now. He'll just beef himself up. Lots of T3. I think this is mobile artillery. There is a Gunther in there. Actually, there's a couple Gunthers, but it looks like it's more trebuchet artillery. Trying to just chip away at Team 1's front line over there. And now it's just fallen silent for the most part. There is some sort of a counterattack mounting. Again, it gets a lot of engineers just for the reclaim. Wasn't really going to go after, of course, taking control. And I've noticed that in later in the game is that it's not necessarily about constantly taking map, like, you know, I own 50%, now we own 55%. It's more about, you know, let's just punch through the front line, scoop up all the mass that they invested in, and then leave. You can see all of those engineers immediately go for that Ahwassa Bomber to scoop it up to, you know, gain it for themselves, or at the very least deny it from their opponents. Does look like Team 1, again, investing in that satellite technology here for Eyes No Good. He has 2 of them online, 3rd of them coming online. Nuke launcher at 5-star veterancy, 122,000 mass killed on board that nuke launcher. It's a ton of mash, and it has a comm kill as well to add to its little notch on its belt. It's starting to get to that close, end of the game where game enders start to be on everybody's mind. They should be on everybody's mind sooner, but this is usually when players start having them built or talk about them or whatever the case may be. There is an artillery online here for Team 2, and a second one as well. Literal has one of them online, has SMD in front of it, has 3 of them loaded as well. Artillery raining in on, I don't know. It's going after, kill the spy plane. I mean, that's something. Another artillery shell takes out more of those Air Forces. Looks like there was some ASF in there, but looks like they're taking the resourcing options out here for Eyes No Good. The 3rd satellite is online, and Team 1 probably should notice that. I mean, it's 1 artillery, but it can make the difference in taking out, especially when it's dual ring mass fabs. 4th satellite's being built. Massive amounts of mass being funneled into those projects, but it does look like a nice little land invasion. The round 2 of Literal with, or was, to be fair, cut to the potatoes, but it's now Literal's forces moving in southward. Team 1 does have some defenses in some units, but not really a whole lot. They need to fall back and form one line. That's it. No 2, no 3, no 6, just 1. Artillery raining in, of course, all the time. That one's going to land, take out. Oh, that's going to hurt that quantum gateway and a couple of engineering stations. Oh, the artillery is breaking through the shielding. Is there only 1 of them online? Yeah, it feels like there's 2 of them, but of course it is due to the ringed T3 mixes around it. Shields are being built, of course, around those artillery emplacements. I would feel like they'd go after this position to take out the SMD and then just nuke it and be done with it. But there is a lot of engineering support down here as well to be able to assist this SMD with constant loading and then the shields as well. It does look like a couple of Othams do get behind that front line attack. I thought I heard a Billy nuke. It could just be some Rascoms dying. The quantum gateway does get taken out. And oh, bombers are inbound to the north, taking out that fat boy. Oh, that's gotta hurt. ASFs could not get there in time. They will take out most of those bombers here for Team 2. Actually, they will take all of them out. And the air fight will ensue, but he breaks up his air forces. Oh, huge amount of gains here for Team 2's Corn. Oh, that's just gotta hurt. A lot of ASF's bingo on fuel. But there are 5 chicken. Wow, 5 chickens online here for Skibidi. He probably should send them in. At least try to go after that SMD and then take out the artillery with the nuke launcher. That'd be the most match efficient way to do it. The the nuke launcher is loaded and it is going for that position. The SMDs are online. That's not really going to do anything. That's throwing away a nuke. In the southeast, attacks with some broadswords being used again. Just annoy Team 2's main forces. That's the main attack. It's down here. There's a decent amount of forces here. 2 crabs versus 5 chickens, though. Once those chickens come into range, that's it. And does Team 1 even know about those SMDs? They do. And it gets shot down. They definitely should have been aware of that. And the shields are starting to collapse around those artillery anyways. Not going good here for Team 2. They need more SMDs. They need more shields. And, well, SMDs just in case. But shields specifically. There's 2 main ones still online. They're building more as we speak. T3 shields, the ED4s. Some of these are the ED5 variants. And they are building some T3 Seraphim ones as well to intermix, just to help assist with the coverage. But with 2 artillery online, those satellites don't have a lot of room to move around here. 4th satellite almost online. I want to take a look at those artillery once again. Are they in range? No, they're in range. Okay, they can hit everything on the map. Everything except this tiny little corner, and then of course this tiny little corner you can barely not even see anyways. So that is the main target here. Scouts were sats. Here's Team 2. They want to know where they are so they can target them. More shields need to be built. They are being built as we speak, but more. You need more right here too. Their eyes no good. You need, as many as you think you need. Double. Oh, that was the center one. It's gonna hurt. One more artillery shell. It's gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt that mass investment. There goes another shield. That is down. Need to move that satellite. Need to move it north to again deal with these shields. The shields are coming back online. Looks like 3 is not enough. It looked like it was, but now it's not. You need to make 30 scouts. T3 ASF's guarding the T4 Ahwassa Bomber. It's en route to something. The ASFs could be there. Oh, that's a lot of AA. That's a lot of AA. It's flying through. Almost half of its, hit points are down. The ASF moving very late. Definitely delayed in that regard. And with 2 artillery constantly firing their shells, looks like it could be enough to break the shielding. It's starting to fail around to other important structures as well. Team 2, I don't think they know exactly where it is. They just know it's somewhere down here. You'd assume with all these engineers it'd be, probably this. And that front line is being attacked. Probably should move your ASFs out of range, or not have them, sit there and just take receive pot shots from AA. But 6 well, nope. Is that not enough? 6 chickens? Nope, doesn't look like 6 chickens is enough. Team 2 has 2 crabs, and they're immediately retreating, going like, nope, not doing that, not dealing with that sort of nonsense. And it looks like Rascom's trying to be used to build some T3 mexes, but they're not going to last very long underneath that firepower outbound from those Monkeyloids. We have some broadswords, but there are some AA in the mix here as well. But actually, not as much as I thought. It's just coming off of the Monkeylord. Thought there'd be more in that mix of the bouncers or even some bangers or something, but no, just the Monkeylord AA. Satellite is traversing the map to that northern location against those satellites. More and more shields being built, and now a 3rd disruptor is being built. That will definitely crack the shields. Most definitely. It looks like the air forces have been severely diminished. Hives have been annihilated. The nuke has been taken out. I don't know if there was some strat bombers. I don't think so. It looks like it was just artillery. But that was huge for Team 1. Sorry, for Team 2. Team 1 to lose. Team 2, do they have any sort of game plan for... Nope, there it is. Yep, there it is. There she is. There's the YOLO. The Yolana Oz experimental nuke launcher, or experimental missile launcher. 2 Ahwassa bombers are online. I don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere. Team 2's corn is just pumping stuff out. Tons of ASFs. Of course, strat bombers as well. 2 bombers, and then of course the YOLO. Team 1 needs to know about that sooner rather than later, which they don't. But they will soon if they are not paying attention. Kill this first. The chickens are actually moving in northward, but the bombers are inbound. And they're going for those chickens. Does look like the crab's going to come in and deal with that as well. Maybe, possibly, maybe. 2 fat boys in the west going to start pummeling those defenses for those chickens to be able to just walk on through. Team 2 needs more concerted effort. ASFs are going to move into range. If this is the time to sacrifice the ASFs, it is the time. Oh, lost some lightning tanks as well. Takes one of those. Actually takes both of them out, essentially simultaneously. Oh, I don't know if they were control kit or not, but the ASF fight ensues underneath a decent amount of AA, I think for both teams. And it looks like the chickens, some of them split off from the main group going northward for that SMD. Of course, the nuke launcher is gone, but you can always take out the SMD because why not? But it does look like the ASFs it slightly favors Team 2, but not by much. And some of those ASFs are actually just going to have a lot of fuel as well. 1 chicken is down. 2 chickens are down. Units still strewing in. 2 chickens are alive and moving northward. Team 2 needs some land defenses online. They're building an SMD just in case. Definitely the best plan in that regard. Chicken definitely just needs to either walk over it and kill it, or just focus fire on that SMD to take it out. Still has not taken it out. Shields are still online. Oh, and the chicken. Oh, it doesn't hit the SMD. Oh, that's going to hurt, but the fat boys are coming in. The crabs are coming in to deal with those chickens from the rear. But I think the fat boy, it might just... Oh, you got to go for it at that point. Oh, that's so disappointing. You didn't get the SMD. That was the main target, and you didn't even go for it. But now the fat boys are going to die. You're not going to get the SMD. That was the opportunity for those lasers to come in and assist, but go next to it, stand here. But we have an attack down south, outbound from Team 2's Grumpy to that satellite base. Eyes no good, is severely wounded in the red. Team 1 PD trying to be spammed up to defend, but satellites are being ripped to shreds here. Looks like the attack on Team 2's base didn't bear any fruit, and Team 1's base is bearing a lot of fruit here for Team 2. One satellite is down. The chicken is moving in. Even if it dies here, it's going to get that ion storm right on top of everything. And that one last Percy does take out another satellite. That's 2 of the 4. That's better than none. And Team 1, they were looking pretty strong, but underneath the artillery barrage and that land attack earlier on, that is a huge here for Team 2. Where there was 4, there's now 2. And the SMD is still online. Did Team 1 rebuild the nuke? No, they are actually rebuilding the nuke. That's probably a little late in that regard. Ion Storm just on the edge. The 3rd satellite might be spared. Everything is transferred over to Vangerful from Eyes No Good. And I don't know what he's going to do, but that's not going to feel good. Couple of bricks still running around here for Team 2, but essentially the entire base for Eyes No Good is dead. Jelinar says, or nuke. It's already kill sat first, or nuke. Ours SMD not loaded. Well, this one is loaded. This one is not, and will be loaded definitely before that nuke is built. But Team 2 has a nice little, insurance policy in the form of a YOLO. So even if they lose the artillery, that's going to be the next prime opportunity. Team 1 has built their own T3 artillery in the form of a Ahwassa, and that's it, just the one. There's a couple of PGens building more to, again, get that fire rate increased. Don't see any sort of other nastiness. Duke being built, so another T3 artillery. But that is it. Team 2, has claimed more of the map now that was once owned by Team 1. And that artillery raining in has taken out the 3rd satellite. The 4th one still alive for now, but underneath, again, 3 artillery. I don't even know if the 3rd one is built, but even if it isn't, which it is, 3 artillery, that's enough to take out one lonely little shield and that Novak Center, which is actually still online and isn't receiving any firepower now. But it looks like it's targeting the Duke that's being built. That Duke is definitely not going to finish. No, we won. Well played, red and green. YOLO will win the game. Mass being sent to Skibidi. I telly and it's dead, says Jelinar. Oh, sorry, 1 telly and it's dead. Good enough. Skibidi building more chickens. I feel like he probably waited a little bit too long with those chickens. Could have probably sent them in earlier on. And teleporter is being built as we speak here. Nuke is being loaded as well. Laser's already on board building a Scathis, because why not? Does Team 2 notice? That is Team 1. Team 2 does not know anything's going on. Crabs are pushing forward, taking out defenses that remain in the western side. Artillery assisting with that measure, also taking out that Duke. The Ahwassa still online, still pummeling out plasma, but it's not enough against, again, a bunch of shields that have been built to protect against satellite nastiness. Team 2 is going to carve again their way down the western side and then down the western side southward. And ASF's going to come in and just rip through the rest of those ASFs here for Team 1. And the nuke does launch. This is the YOLO. Where is it going? It is going... Oh, that's a lot of nukes. It's going for that Ahwassa that's been built. 1 SMD has been loaded, but that is it. And that YOLO will not be stopped. But the comm has not issued teleportation as of yet. If he wants to teleport, probably now is the time. There is a lot of T2PD surrounding that thing, so probably not. There goes that YOLO nuke on top of that SMD. Kaboom! Takes out everything that Team 1's KBD owned. Another nuke is launched. Now it's going for the rear. Going to take out the nuke built by Team 1. That's not finished loading. Vengeful's got to get out of there. And he hasn't given himself the order to move. He does have an SMD. He has 4 loaded, so he'll be able to divert 2 SMDs. But it does look like Skibidi tried to transport in and got killed, question mark? There is a transport right here, but I can't tell. That's where the comm died. Can't tell what that was from, but it's now a 3v3 game. Nuclear Hellfire is inbound. Vengeful has been given himself the order to teleport. He's about a third of the way done. Second nuke's going to land a little bit eastward. There's no SMD coverage here. That will definitely land. And now it's just essentially Vangerful, Aliens Are Real, and Eyes No Good. Trying to keep Team 1 alive. Pings do go down saying, hey, there's things going on. We have some T1 torp launchers going to be built. The teleportation is initiated. It's right here next to a PGen. There goes the comm. Laser needs to activate. Laser's hitting some shields, but not really doing a whole lot. There it goes. It's puncturing more and more shields. I don't think it's going to get through all the shielding, though, before he's dead. Trying to target this PGen, but oh, there he goes. Does take out one PGen, but he won't get another one, and that is a kill here for Team 2 for literal, and of course, kaboom! This nuke will be dissuaded as well. There's still 2 loaded. Scathis is coming online, but that is, like Alien said, that is GG, and everything is transferred back over to Eyes No Good. Still has his satellite online, and Eyes No Good and Aliens Are Real do teleport out of Dodge. So Team 2 wins the game here at 54 minutes in this game. And for MVP, MUP awards, I mean, Team 2's Little did a very good job of keeping these artillery online. That SMD he built here saved that position. Those chickens definitely should have taken that out. And had Team 1 had a nuke online, that would have taken at least the artillery out. But Team 2 was building the YOLO, so I wouldn't say the YOLO won the game here for Team 2. I'd say the artillery definitely, it was 80-20 essentially. But I think Literal gets MVP. Built that, took out a lot of infrastructure. We did have Grumpy come in and take out a lot of ground defenses and some of the satellites here on this eastern side. And then that was, once the satellites were down and the artillery wasn't going anywhere, it was essentially a game and just a matter of cleaning up here for Team 2. So I think Literal gets the MVP award here for this game. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about that. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.